Psychology of the sale. How do you know what your client is thinking, what he or she wants to say, what they're about to say, and if that's good for you in your current sales presentation? You ask. Good salespeople are really good question askers. Good salespeople, when they don't know what somebody's thinking. So, for instance, I'm talking to my client, I'm pitching them on whatever, I don't care. I'm like, hey, these are the greatest, what do they call these things? Coasters? I don't even know how they call them. That's old school term for them. You put them down, you put your drink on, doesn't ruin your table, right? It doesn't matter what I'm in the middle of selling. If I'm talking to you and you requested what I have and I don't know what you're thinking, I have to ask you, hey, Tom, I'm explaining to you how these work. You had inquired about them. You know, you got this rec center with 40 tables. You've acknowledged that when they put the glass on and it screws up the wood, you have to have them because y'all need them. You're not going to put paper towels down the entire time. But every time I talk about it, it's like you don't want to get them. Can you explain to me, if you don't mind me asking, Tom, what's on your mind? What's your biggest concern at this point in time, Tom? What is your biggest issue? What question do you have? We tend to keep talking because we don't want to ask the questions, we don't want to get the answers. Or we're uncomfortable because we can't control the information. That's psychology of the sale. Because when people are sitting there, I ask. Because I know I have no control of the situation without all the information. I have no control of the sale without all the knowledge. I can't help you move to where you need to get to make your purchase unless I know what's happening. And a lot of times what we do is we assume what you're thinking, but we don't know. And then we think, but if I ask him, man, I might lose control. Bro, you won't have control. If you're ever thinking during a sale, I might lose control, you don't have control. And also, it's not about having control the entire time. It's about you being able to exert your knowledge, your professionalism, your presumptiveness in a sales situation with somebody who's already said, hey, I want that product. Now, again, I'm talking to you if you are selling something that is lead-based. If you are cold knocking, door knocking, cold calling, I am really good at sales. My best advice is for you to quit doing that and go do something else. There's plenty of lead generation out there to sell multiple products. But if you don't understand and you don't know, just ask. And then what happens when you ask psychologically is you have the courage to ask a question you don't necessarily know the answer to. Now, I've been doing it long enough where I might know the answer the majority of the time, but I'm going to ask anyway. Now, whoever asks the most questions wins. Now, he could say, well, you know, I appreciate all that, Sean, but at this point in time, I'm just not going to, I appreciate all the information and, we're going to get back to you. I say, okay, again, Tom, if you don't mind me asking, what is there to think about at this point in time? Is it the price point? I didn't explain it to you. You don't understand it. These products are pretty self-explanatory. Or you don't like or trust me. Which one is it? And you be nice. You ask questions and be nice. When you have the courage to ask questions, that means you are courageous. When you're willing to get uncomfortable, that means that people trust you more. When you do that, now, think about this next level of psychology. Let's say I'm selling life insurance. Hell, I could be selling them damn things I put down the table. What if the guy's order isn't right? What if they're faulty? Put the drink down, it leaks through on the table. Do you think he wants to be able to talk to somebody that he thinks can actually get freaking something done? Yes, that's me. The guy that wasn't afraid to ask the questions, the guy that was courageous enough to ask the questions, the guy that put himself out there and asked. Yeah, that's me. So he's already got me. How did I demonstrate that for him? By asking questions. But a lot of times you'll watch people when I train them and I'm like, I'll listen to them talk and they'll say something and I'll let it all play out and I'll go, why did you think that was the issue? Well, I wasn't sure what his issue was. Why didn't you just ask him? He was sitting right in front of you. He was on the phone. He was on Zoom. He was right there. Why don't you just ask him? It'll give you the answer that you need. So I think that that's what people have to understand about this whole process, and they tend not to, is that at the end of the day, you have to be willing. And by the way, sometimes I don't know where to go once I get to that point. But hell, I can engage in conversation by asking. I mean, you seem like something I said's made you not interested in the product you asked for. Can I ask you what's on your mind? What's on my mind, Sean, is, I just really don't want to purchase anything today. And go, well, listen, Tom, with all due respect, or if you don't mind me saying, if you didn't want to purchase it, you wouldn't have inquired. And if you didn't have a need, I would understand. We've already established the need. What you don't want to do, may I tell you what I think you don't want to do? Yeah, go ahead, Sean. You're so smart. You don't want to spend money. You want it, whatever the product is, but you don't want to spend the money on it. And by the way, Tom, I get that. But let me ask you something. If you ain't going to spend the money, you ain't never going to get the product, right? So what you want to think about is not, is this the right product, the right price, and the whole deal? What you want to think about is, I know I don't want to spend any money, but I need to spend money. I never like a new bill. I'm never excited about a new bill. And if you wait to be excited about a new bill, you're never going to make a purchase. So you want to get good and you understand the psychology of people, why don't you just ask them? They're right in front of you. And when you get good at asking questions, you're going to get good at getting the truth. And when you get the truth and you have knowledge is power, and you do everything else we just talked about for a few minutes here, your closing percentage is going to go up dramatically.